everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from over the road from the Philippines. I'm in downtown Malaysia with one of my VIP clients, having a wonderful time. I put on about 6 kilos in 10 days. They take me out every day for lunch and dinner, and they insist on feeding me. They must think I'm skinny, but it's not the case. Anyway, today, it's not about me, it's about my guest. His name is Ron Higgs. And Ron is a founder, principal of Wolf Management Solutions, LLC, executive coach, and strategic business advisor. And a lot of you people need an executive coach, and it can help you. It can double, triple your business goals. You'll be amazed what a good coach can do for you. So Wolf Management Solutions, professional services, executive coaching, leadership, management consulting. Years in the industry, 8 years self-employed, he got away from that soul-sucking job, and 20 years in aerospace and defense industry. Brief description of his business: as an executive coach, I transform progress and data-driven engineers into effective executive leaders. Key achievements: selected as U.S. Navy mission specialist astronaut candidate, graduate U.S. Naval Test Pilot School. Wow, that'd be it. Naval Flight Officer and Aerospace Engineering Duty Officer with, 2,500 flight hours. My goodness, man, you've been up in the clouds. Recognized and included in Marcus Who's Who Win 2023. This man's done it all. His personal motto: stay curious and keep learning. That's it, guys. Learn every day, guys. You learn one thing every day. Imagine what you know at the end of the year. The sky is not the limit. That's a fact. It's the beginning of the endless journey. And I say to people, aim for the moon. If you fail, you'll hit a few stars, right? So everybody you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. And that's all of us, guys. It's a long journey with twists and turns aplenty. Solve the right problem, build relationships, and inspire others. Like, even a smile can help change someone's day, guys. Interesting fact about himself: he's an avid snowboarder and has snowboarded at 30 plus resorts. Wow, in the USA and Canada, that is active. Anyway, we've got the rest of it here. And it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Ron Higgs. How are you, Ron?
I am great, Jeff. Thank you for that introduction. And sometimes you're reading that and I go, who is that guy they're talking about?
It's a bit like that, isn't it? Yeah. I'm the same. You look back and go, did I do that? I've had businesses, seriously, 20 years ago. I can't even remember them. I go, how did I do that for 20 years? And some of them I couldn't even, honest to God, I really feel I couldn't do them again. But, I did them then. Anyway, it is what it is. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career and go out and help people. What's that all about?
Big open-ended question, but I will start here. When I was a kid, I was a science fiction nerd.
Right.
Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be an astronaut. And
Wow.
I'm thinking to myself, how does one become an astronaut? Well, I think you have to start with airplanes. And then as I started studying airplanes, because as a kid, airplanes are cool. And then I saw a picture of an aircraft carrier and I was like, man, they are flying airplanes off of a ship. That is so cool. I want to do that. So I figured it out. And it really shaped my my future. I started at the library because in the ecosystem that I was in, where I grew up, there was no one that could help me with those types of goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to figure things out at the library. So I owe a huge gratitude of debt to the public library system. And when you and I were talking earlier, the Naval Sea Cadets, and it's a youth development program sponsored by the U.S. Navy, and I was a Sea Cadet as well. And between those two things, they really shaped the course of my life. And as I look back, I try to figure out how can I help? What can I do to give back? I served on a local library board here in Seattle, and now I serve on the board of directors for the Sea Cadets. So it allows me to give back in a big way.
Yeah, pretty cool journey. How you just had that mission and went for it. It's a pretty cool story, right? Nice. And guys, follow your dreams, because there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this. Just keep going, guys. If it's your passion, just follow your dreams. Simple as that.
Absolutely true. And I was raised by people who lived most of their lives before the civil rights movement.
Yes.
So they had self-limiting beliefs thrust upon them. So in
Yes.
other words, there were things that they couldn't do
You weren't
that
allowed to.
I
Yeah.
sort of went, I am going to go do this. Well, there
Yeah.
are no people that look like you doing X. Well, I'm going to be the first one. That is not going to stop me.
I love it.
So that's really how I pursued things. And
Yeah.
I just went for what I wanted to do.
Tell me, uh, Ron, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that over the years? What have you found have been the challenges?
I think the challenges are all centered on being a trailblazer and trying to figure things out myself.
Yeah.
Even through a career in the Navy, 24 years, never had a mentor. I
Wow.
still have never had one. I've had people who have helped me. I
Yes.
have people that have guided me,
Hmm.
but not necessarily that mentor relationship. So the
True mentor. Yeah.
difficult part is trying to figure out, how do I have a successful naval career? Well,
Yeah.
nobody ever told me, because I listened to all of my friends who had mentors, and their mentors are telling them, hey, this is what you need to do to have a
Yeah.
successful career. And I'm listening and taking notes because nobody's telling me directly.
Yeah. Sure.
And so navigating my way through this thing called life, careers, everything else, I had to figure it out myself. I I was at one organization where it was clearly a boys' club, and there was a glass ceiling,
Yeah.
and I was clear that I wasn't one of the boys, so I was not going to be successful in that organization. So it's
I
like, well, why
understand it
would I
fully.
stay here?
Yeah.
So I left.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Let me interrupt you for a second. I used to go to these meetings, like these business meetings when I was younger, right? But in my, say, 40s. And I put a suit on, never been to one. So I put a suit on, right? And off I go to these, you know, the type of thing. In Australia, they call them BBX. I'm not sure what they call them in America, but you know, the one where you have breakfast and you network with fellow business owners, right? So I walk into the room and I see about 5 or 6 guys in a huddle, and I'm still a bit shy, believe it or not. Well, I've got to go over there. I can't sit back and do nothing. So I walk over and say, oh, good morning. And they all go, oh, good morning. And you got a name tag on so they can see, good morning, Jeff. And we go around the room, and one guy is a lawyer, another guy's a doctor, another guy is a gynecologist, another guy's a professor. And I say, and what do you do, Jeff? At the time, I was a caterer, right? Like in the food business. And you can see their faces change. It's like, oh, shit, how did he get in here? Because I'm not an educated man. I'm a lowly caterer who just feeds them.
Yeah, that's
So
too bad.
yeah, it is. I
Don't you
just laugh
guys
to
have
myself.
all events? Don't you like good food? Don't you have events that
Yeah,
need to be
I
catered?
just
You've
laugh
been
to
to an event
myself.
that needs to be catered.
Yeah,
I've never done that. You know, where I come from, I just treat everybody the same. The person that
absolutely.
owns the building and the person cleaning the building, I treat them
Absolutely,
all the
and
same
quite
and
often
always have.
the guy cleaning the building has got a better story. They got some great stories, you know. And I
Yep.
often spend time with them, talk to them. Same as my parties. When I had parties back in Australia, honest to God, it went from the Prime Minister down to the guy who collected my rubbish. They all got an invite, right? And they all rubbed shoulders together, having fun. Tell us an important moment in your career that changed your direction and then you decided to pivot. When was that? When was that moment?
Well, we hinted on this earlier. So I was working for a very large corporation,
Yep.
and I was just getting sick of it. I spent my
Yeah, getting fed
most of
up.
my working life in the military, flew airplanes in the Navy, went over to and stayed in the aerospace and defense industry working with defense contractors. And I did what a good military guy does is I got out and I started working for defense contractors. And what I figured out is, here are some gaps in my knowledge because I'm a very curious person. I don't know how nonprofits work. I don't know how startups work. How do people start businesses?
Sure.
So let me figure this out. So first I did that, and then I had to ensure that my skill set was transferable. So I
Yeah.
got involved. I just went and looked into startups, got involved in some startups. I
Yep.
did my best, but that's what gave me the confidence to leave.
Mm.
And I thought I was stuck. So here I am, just a touch over 50 years old.
Yep.
And the longer I stay in this aerospace and defense world, the more trapped I become, meaning
Yes.
I'm not going to have any options if I stay here much longer. So
Yes.
I left without a good plan
Good on
in
you.
2017.
Yep. You made the
And
jump,
things
made
were
the
a little
leap.
different 2017 around remote work and things like that, but I made it work. I mean, I struggled. Sometimes I have my ups
Yeah.
and downs, just like all
Chicken,
of us who are
chicken and
solopreneurs.
feathers, my friend. Chicken and feathers.
Yeah, exactly. So that was difficult for me to manage because I've always had a paycheck,
Yeah.
always had the security. You know, I didn't interview for a job, a real job, until I was 41 years old.
Job.
So it was just a lot different for me. Now, as a retired military guy, I had some safety nets that
Yeah,
helped me a
sure.
little bit. You know, I had a military pension, I had health care, my own health care. So that guided some of the decisions.
Mm,
But I just will say that was probably the most difficult transition I've had.
mm. And for those of you who don't know, guys, job is just on broke. You're living paycheck to paycheck, paying the rent, paying the car, you know, making the wife happy, you know. But you won't get far in life, guys. Make the leap. Make the leap. Reach out to people like Ron. Have a chat. You know, he might be the catalyst that you need to get that confidence to make that leap. You know, no one said it's easy, but the best secret, guys, is turn up. That's a very good start. Turn up, right? Um, Ron,
Showing up.
yeah, that's the one. Ron, in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have contributed to your amazing success over all these years? What's the secret?
I think one, and this is just me, right? Because everybody's a little bit different. Curiosity is one. There's genuine curiosity
Yeah.
for me about things. Like, how does this work? How does that work?
Mhm.
In being able to, and just in curiosity about people. In terms of leadership, I want to know people's stories. I want to know how they got to be
Where
where
they are.
they are. And the more you get to know people, because if you're in a leadership role, every individual is motivated by different things. And you don't know what motivates that person until
Yeah.
you build to some kind of relationship with them. And
Mm.
that's the start. So I really think that, there's curiosity about things, curiosity about people,
Mm.
and building relationships. And in terms of leadership, how do I inspire people? I always walk away from something as leader going, how can I inspire this person to take some sort of action?
That's right. You got
And
empathy
I do
too.
that.
It's a big
Yeah.
one. You're a good listener, as we spoke earlier, and you've got a lot of empathy. And empathy is a big thing, Ron. Equity, yeah, empathy and integrity. They're the two qualities that will take you a long way in life, my people.
Yeah, humility too. I want
Yeah,
to add
absolutely.
that because I found success in some situations because I literally sometimes the military puts you in situations that says, "Hey, you're in charge of this," and I said, "I don't know anything about that." Yeah, that's great, but you're in charge. And so you have to lead with humility and say, "Hey,
Sure.
I don't know the
Yeah, but
answers.
let's work
What
on it
do you
together.
think is
Yeah.
best? Let's work through it together. Ask the right questions. Get the right people around you. Surround yourself with people smarter than you.
That's right.
Same thing. Get people engaged, and that
Yeah.
humility has helped me all the time. It's like I don't have all the answers, so we're going to work through it together. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Let's work through it together, and that really I
Yeah, I
think is
love it.
what helped the most.
Yeah. Speaking of motivation, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field like you've been doing, Ron? What's your secret there?
I genuinely have, and as I think with most military people have, is this desire to contribute to a greater cause,
Hmm.
service above self. There's also an element of I want to add value to others. It's just what I do. If I can
Yeah.
help someone, that's
Yeah.
great. And then making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And I try, you might have hinted at this earlier in the conversation, every day, learn something new,
Absolutely.
meet someone new, and help someone.
That's
I
right.
try to do that every day. That keeps me
Yeah, even
motivated.
even a smile, Ron, can change someone's day, right?
Absolutely.
You know, when I walk down the street, people think I'm mad. I talk to everybody. Good morning, hello. You know,
Yeah.
I cannot pass someone without a smile and hello or good morning because it costs me nothing. Cost me nothing, you know, and it might
You're
brighten
absolutely
it
right.
may brighten their day, right? I live in a condominium back in the Philippines, guys, and it's like being in Manhattan. We got doorman and good morning, and they call you sir there, so it's good morning, Sir Jeff, and good evening, Sir Jeff, and they'll help you put your groceries away. They're real good people. So every month I'll buy them like a chicken and rice lunch or some donuts, and just they're so grateful. It brightens up their day. It costs me bugger all, and just I do it because I'm grateful for the support they give me. Yeah, they're always
Right. It doesn't take much. I used to travel a lot, and right
yeah,
around Christmas time, I bought all those little tins of candy, and
yeah,
I gave the tins of candy to the people that in the hotel that checked me
nice.
in and checked me out all the time at the rental car counters,
Yeah, that's it.
because they took care of me throughout that whole year
Yeah,
that I was traveling. So
nice.
I did my
Yeah,
best, and it really didn't cost me much. A couple bucks for some candy. Here you
yeah,
go. Thanks for the great service. It just doesn't
yeah.
take much to make people happy.
Look at their face. You light them up like a Christmas tree, right? It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Um, Tell me about a recent project or achievement amongst your many that you're particularly proud of.
I was called in recently
Mm.
to help a firm that experienced a big issue. They lost all five members of their executive team, quit a
Wow,
week before Christmas,
wow, wow, wow.
and leaving the CEO in a very bad situation. And so
Yeah,
we also know that things like this don't happen through, the fault. Everyone's at fault here.
yeah, sure. There's got to be a
And
reason. Yep.
right. And so now you've got people who are all of a sudden thrust into these positions with no preparation. I,
That's
I
right.
remember talking to one person that I was coaching in terms of that person has just got an increased level of responsibility and they were not ready for it.
Yes.
And they said, "Hey, I don't know how to do this." And I asked my boss one time if he would show me how to do these reports. And my boss said, "You do your job and I'll do mine."
Oh God.
So you have what a poor example of leadership when you have
Yeah,
somebody just
absolutely.
seeking to learn and grow and you shut them down like that. Now that's an extreme situation.
Yeah, I
But
know.
the bottom line is I was
It's
able
common,
to
common,
work
too
with
common.
like, with a lot of the people. The company was hemorrhaging people. There were some other things going on, but managed to hold it together and get the leadership team restructured, get everybody settled in their new roles, and move on. And it was at the time a monumental undertaking. I mean, I there was just a lot, and I'm really proud of
Yeah,
what
should
I
be.
was able to
It's
do
like
and
an
how I
elephant,
was
just
able to help that
one
company.
bite at a time, right?
Absolutely.
One day at a time, and
Yeah.
I guess start at the top and work your way down and get change the attitude of people.
Yeah.
It's about attitudes in many cases, guys. Um, Tell me, you meet a 20-year-old version of you, and he's not a science fiction nerd. He's just an ordinary guy, and he's just left school. And he goes, "Oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with myself yet. What should I do with myself? What advice would you give him or her?"
Well, that is an interesting question that I had not thought about. But the biggest thing that I would tell them is something that I hinted out earlier.
Mm.
Seek out a mentor. Seek
Yes,
out a mentor
100%,
or
100%.
mentors and ask
Yeah,
people. Get some guidance from people that are in places that you might want to be
that's right.
and have them tell you the good stuff and the bad stuff.
That's right. You'll save five
Because
years off the journey, right? You'll save 5 or 10 years
right.
off your own journey. You've made all those mistakes, and we can learn from them.
Well, we wouldn't be us if we didn't make those mistakes.
Absolutely.
So we need to make them again to be ourselves, I think.
Yeah, that's
However,
right.
getting some guidance from others. I mean, I wish I would have actively. I mean, there's nobody's fault that I've never had a mentor. It's not
Yeah,
the system's
sure.
fault. It's partially, I'll take 50% of the blame
Yeah,
because I wasn't smart enough to seek it. But that's what I would tell my 20-year-old self is
yeah,
go out and find a tribe of mentors and listen to them.
yeah. Interesting story, guys. I've had five multi-million dollar businesses, so I've employed, I would imagine, I'm only guessing, but over 2,000 staff in my lifetime, maybe more. And I've never, in all that time, no one ever came to me and said, "Jeff, how do you do it?" Or "Could you help me?" Or never, never, not one. That always shocked me. And even my own two children, I've got two lovely daughters. I've got a library at home back in Australia with over $200,000 worth of books, mainly on sales or marketing. And disappointingly for me, they've never read a book, not one of those books. And I've always said to them, I joke with them, I say, the money's in the books, the money's in the books. right? And to make the point, for 20 years, every week, because I always made big money, I put $50 or $100 inside of one of those books. So there's probably $50,000 to $100,000 inside of those books in my library, still sitting there today. You like that one?
And they don't know it.
That's it. Amazing.
There was that just reminds me of a TV show here in the U.S. That's been off the air for a while. It's called, I think it was called Arrested Development, whatever it was. And the patriarch used to say, "There's money in the banana stand," and then they burned the banana stand down, and he's like, "Are you crazy? There's money in the banana stand," right? So just as simple, exactly like what you said.
I'm hoping that when I pass, it won't be a long time yet. When I pass, I'm hoping they give them to a men's hostel or something like that. And someone like yourself, who's an older gentleman who might be in the hostel, picks up a book and goes, "Wow!" And $100 note falls out. Be pretty cool, eh?
Well, if they watch this show, then they'll know what to do.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. They don't watch it, so that's a good thing. So where are we? Let's have a look there. Where am I up to? Looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future? Ron, you're only at base camp at the moment. You've got a mountain to climb.
Well, that mountain isn't very steep. I mean, I am closing in on the finite number of years left in my full-time working life.
Yep.
And I right now I want to hit it as hard as I can, build enough capital to make retirement that much more comfortable,
Yes.
and fade away. So I hope to be
retire, Ron. You'll never
at 77.
You're dreaming.
Not working very hard, but doing the things that I want, working because I want to and not because I have to.
That's right. That's what I do now. It's just, and you've got it now. You've got a passion. You haven't got a job. You've got a passion, right?
Right.
You found your passion, and it's not work. And you can have a day off. You can do what you like. You got the ultimate is freedom, guys. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom. Work towards the freedom and be free. I got a surprise. I learned from the guest. A guest was telling me this morning or yesterday. I didn't realize this. Canada, they're trying to lock people in. You've actually got to pay money to leave Canada. If you want to leave Canada, there's a large amount of money to leave. You're not allowed to leave. They want you to stay. Unbelievable.
I think the state of California here is trying to do something similar to that, meaning you still have to pay California state taxes even when you leave at a reduced rate for 10 years.
Yeah.
So let's hope that never gets passed. So what are you going to tax people because they left? That doesn't make any sense.
No wonder I'm a rebel. I was told when I was born, it's a free country. And I've treated it like that ever since. I want to be free. We should get that theme song happening. Tell our listeners, Ron, you're a lot of fun, my friend. Tell our listeners how they can reach out and find out more about your wonderful services. What's the best way to go about that?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I love LinkedIn as a platform. I use LinkedIn all the time. I post almost daily. I take the weekends off. I take Friday off sometimes. That really is the best place to find me and learn what I'm all about. I also have a website, www.wolfmanagementsolutions.com, the name of my company, and that would lead you to, tells you all about some of the things that I do. There's even a calendar link on the website. You can schedule a meeting if you'd like. So those are the ways to find out about me, but LinkedIn is by far the best. And read the post on LinkedIn, my favorite series of posts. Every Tuesday, I post something called Leadership Lessons from Aviation, and I'm working on some keynotes around that. So that's a peek into the future.
You're always up for a chat, Ron, so people can reach out and get some advice for you for 15 minutes for free and have a chat to you about business coaching, etc. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Lovely. Reach out to this man, guys. He's got a lifetime's worth of experience. And the old story, guys, I'm going to give you one that cost me $20,000, guys. I'm going to give it to you all for free. I kid you not. I paid $20,000 for this because I had a business coach. I only learned one thing from him. And here it is for $20,000. You don't know what you don't know. There it is. Simple. So, guys, have an open mind. reach out to people like Ron and find out what he knows. He might have the key to the unlock. He might be the one who encourages you to quit that soul-sucking job, or at least get a side gig and work towards it. Once that side gig builds up, you might make more than your current income and realize, hey, I can leave that behind and go and do what I want to do and find the ultimate, which is freedom. Ron, we can't let you go without this one. Before you go, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Well, I think you hinted at it in the beginning. I am an avid snowboarder, love snowboarding, and I've snowboarded at over 30 resorts in the United States and Canada. Love it. Try to go as much as I can every winter. Sadly, I don't get to go as much as I used to, but I still love it. And I will keep doing it until my body doesn't allow.
Had any times where you fell off? Tell us the stories where you fell off. You had fallen off a few times?
Well, there have been a few accidents, yes, but nowadays, we think in terms of, oh, if I get hurt, I'm not going to be able to work, so I really better take it easy. So not so much anymore, because I don't do the sort of
crazy
daring things that I used to do.
Stuff. Yeah, the crazy stuff. Yeah, I get it. Guys, it's been a pleasure having Ron on the show. If you want your 15 minutes of fame, I want you to think about this, guys. A TV commercial in your country or state probably going to set you back $20,000. And what's going to happen? People are going to jump up, make a hot dog, grab a beer, or go to the toilet and miss the whole damn thing. You want to go on the radio? That's fine. Cost you probably $2,000 to $3,000, and they invariably play your ads at 2:00 in the morning when people are asleep. Come on, 15 minutes of fame, and we will make you famous. We'll put you across Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, Facebook, my Facebook group of 6,500 people, and of course, YouTube with all your social media links, and potentially put you in front of hundreds of people. And remember, guys, this is evergreen. It lasts forever. So you can use it like a professional business card and push yourself out there and get in front of more people and change the world, just like Ron and I are trying to do. Thanks, Ron. You've been an awesome guest today, my friend. Any last words?
Well, thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity. This has been great, and I've enjoyed our conversation.
No trouble at all, my friend.